Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're kicking things off by digging into some really interesting news from Windsurf. They've just launched their Wave 9 release.
That's right. Big stuff happening there.
Yeah, and just so you know, the summary and highlights we're working from today were put together by ALM Toolbox.
Ah, yes. Good folks over there.
They're a gold partner with Windsurf, and they handle consulting, services, licenses, the whole package, really.
Mm-hmm. They know Windsurf inside out.
So our mission for this deep dive is pretty straightforward. Cut through the noise, get to the important bits about Wave 9, especially this new SWE1 family of models. What does it actually mean for developers, for software teams?
Well, it feels like a definite shift. Windsurf seems to be moving beyond just, hey, look, our AI can write code,
Right.
towards something bigger.
Exactly. They're talking about models that understand the whole software engineering cycle. That's the key word here.
Okay, so this SWE1 family, that's the centerpiece of Wave 9 then. It really is. Windsurf is calling them their first frontier models. And they're specifically built for, like you said, that end-to-end software engineering process. It's a pretty bold claim, moving beyond just coding assistance.
Frontier models. Okay. So break down this family for us. What's inside?
Sure. There are three main models in the SWE1 lineup. First up is, SWE1 itself. The interesting thing here is the tool call reasoning. Windsurf says it's comparable to something like Claude 3.5 Sonnet.
Tool call reasoning. So the AI knowing when to use other tools, like compilers or debuggers.
Precisely. It's about the AI not just generating text, but intelligently using the tools a developer would use, kind of orchestrating parts of the workflow. And they're claiming it does this well, but at a lower serving cost. Plus, little incentive, 0 credits per prompt for paid users right now.
0 credits. Okay, that definitely gets your attention. Makes trying it out pretty easy.
Yeah, it lowers the barrier significantly.
All right, so that's SWE1. What about the other two you mentioned?
Right, then there's SWE1 Lite. Think of this as a more streamlined version, but importantly, it's supposed to be better quality than their previous Cascade-based model.
Okay, an upgrade.
Yeah, and here's the kicker. Unlimited use for all users, free and paid.
Oh, wow. So they're making a pretty capable baseline available to everyone then.
Seems like it. It suggests they want everyone to have access to a certain level of this new capability.
And then the third one.
That's SWE1 Mini. This one is all about speed, super fast. It's designed to power the Windsurf tab, passive experience.
Passive experience, like the little suggestions that pop up as you type, that kind of thing.
Exactly. That instant, almost invisible background help.
Mm-hmm.
Needs to be fast.
Yeah.
Right. So Mini handles that for everyone.
Okay, so a tiered approach. SWE1 for the heavy lifting and reasoning, MIDI for general use, and Mini for that instant assistance. Makes sense. Now, Windsurf has this, let's say, ambitious goal. Accelerate software development by 99%. That's huge. How does SWE1 even begin to tackle that?
Yeah, that 99% number is definitely a statement. But I think it forces you to look at what current AI doesn't do well for developers. Windsurf is basically saying, look, engineers do way more than just write lines of code.
Totally. There's terminal work, searching docs, testing, trying to understand feedback.
Exactly. All that stuff. And models that are just coding capable. They only touch a small part of a developer's day.
Right. You could have an AI write perfect code, but if it doesn't get the context or how it fits into the test plan or what the user actually meant by that bug report,
its usefulness is limited. And software development isn't usually quick, tactical stuff either, is it?
no, it's often long-term messy.
Right. Projects stretch out, requirements change, information is incomplete. A lot of AI models are good at the clear-cut tasks like, does this compile? Did the unit test pass? But reasoning over those incomplete states, ambiguous goals, that's different. That's engineering. And that seems to be the shift Windsurf is aiming for with SWE1, from coding models to true software engineering models.
Okay, navigating ambiguity. That sounds like the real challenge. How are they building that capability into SWE1? What's the tech behind it?
This is where they bring in this concept called flow awareness.
Flow awareness.
Yeah. They say it comes from analyzing, tons of data from how people use the Windsurf editor. They built a new data model, the shared timeline, combined that with training that specifically focuses on messy situations, incomplete code, long tasks, users switching between the editor and the terminal. That's the foundation for SWE1.
A shared timeline. So the AI has a record of everything I'm doing in the environment.
Kind of, yeah. It builds a much richer picture of your context, moment by moment, what you're typing, what commands you ran, what the output was.
Okay. Flow awareness. It sounds cool, but what does it do for me, the developer?
Well, fundamentally, it creates a tighter loop between you and the AI. It's not just the AI spitting out code anymore. Instead, you and the AI are sort of observing each other within this shared timeline. You make an edit, the AI sees it and adapts. The AI suggests something, you react.
So it's more collaborative.
Exactly. Windsurf argues this is crucial right now. Before AI can just run off and do everything perfectly on its own, it lets you steer the AI, correct it. And just as importantly, the AI learns from your corrections, your actions. It moves it from being just an assistant to more like a partner, in sync with what you're actually doing.
I see. So it's about that constant interaction, that shared context. Can you give some examples? Like, where would I see this flow awareness?
We've already seen bits of it, actually. In Cascade, for instance, if the AI generates code and you tweak it, the AI can pick up from your changes. It understands you intervened.
Okay.
It also looks at terminal output. I remember Wave 4. They added previews for front-end stuff, errors,
Right.
giving the AI more visual context.
Right. I remember that.
So SWE1 takes that further, especially in Windsurf tab. It's where terminal commands you use, stuff on your clipboard, the chat you're having in Cascade, even searches you do inside the IDE.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot of context.
And they stress these aren't just like random features thrown in. They're specific building blocks designed to create the richest possible understanding of the software engineering work as it happens.
It really sounds like they're trying to build a comprehensive picture of the developer's environment and actions. Okay, so performance. Does it actually work? Do we have benchmarks?
They've shared some results. They did internal tests, offline evaluations. Their take is that SWE1 is within the realm of other top frontier models for conversational tasks and those end-to-end software engineering tasks. They also say it beats most mid-sized and open-weight models. They're not quite claiming it's number one in every benchmark, but that it's definitely playing in the big leagues.
Okay, within the realm. That's interesting phrasing. What about real-world use? Did actual developers test it?
Yes, and this is maybe more telling. They ran blind production experiments.
Yeah.
Basically, some users got SWE1 without knowing it, others got different models. They tracked things like how many lines of code per day the user contributed, and also the Cascade contribution rate. Basically, the percentage of code changes within a file that were made by Cascade, the AI.
Got it. And the results?
The results, they say, show SWE1 performing near the top of the industry in those real-world production settings.
Really? Why the difference between that and the offline benchmarks?
Their theory is that SWE1 is just really well-tuned for how people actually use Cascade. It's optimized for those specific interaction patterns.
So, built for its home turf, essentially.
Pretty much. They also mention SWE1 Lite is clearly outperforming other non-frontier models and will replace Cascade Base. And SWE1 Mini is hitting its speed targets for the tab experience.
Okay, so positive results in practice, especially within their own ecosystem. Where does Windsurf see this going? Is SWE1 the end goal or just the start?
Definitely just the start. They're very clear this is the beginning of a long-term investment in these kinds of software engineering models. And they really lean into their advantage here, this flywheel they talk about.
The flywheel.
Yeah, the idea that having the applications people use, the systems they run on, and all the activity data, it gives them insights that even, say, pure AI research labs don't have.
The tight feedback loop between the product and the model development.
Exactly. So they're promising continued improvements to the SW family, always balancing performance with cost effectiveness.
Right. Okay, let's try and wrap this up. If you had to boil down this whole Wave 9 SW1 announcement, what's the absolute core message?
I think the main thing is Windsurf is serious about moving AI beyond just code generation. They want AI that understands the whole process of building software. And this flow awareness idea, built on that deep understanding of user interaction in the dev environment, that seems to be their key strategy for getting there. It's less AI assistant, more AI partner.
From assistant to partner, I like that framing. It captures the shift pretty well. Okay, so here's something for you, our listeners, to think about. If AI really does become more aware of the entire engineering process, not just the code, how could that fundamentally change your day-to-day work, your team's long-term plans? What new ways of building software might this actually unlock for you? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.